whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May we all be blessed with good health, long life, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. Dear friends in Qatar and all those who are connected over the internet, as Mr. Anand Raja has pointed out, we have been having a very long association with all of you, and it's a great pleasure to again meet you, if not personally, but over the internet. I was also lucky that an opportunity was given to me last week to speak to the people in Tamil, thanks to Muthu and his the team, which has been doing phenomenal work in Qatar for last so many years. In fact, we come once in a while, but it is this team which has toiled very hard, and I think it's the only team which is doing work both in English and Tamil in a very, very systematic manner and constantly evolving new ways of doing things. So we're also happy to see Qatar beautifully flowering in this desert, a flower which is spreading not the smell or the sweetness, but spirituality around, peace everywhere. So we are blessed to be a part of that team. Be blessed by the divine. Just see if there is, yeah. I hope the sound is all right. Today I've been asked to share some of the experiences with Maharishi. Certainly, I feel I have not done so much to be in Swamiji's company. Must be our forefathers must have done some great work. And the kindness of Guru that myself, my wife, Jayanti, and Rajashekar could get associated with Vedanta Maharishi. In fact, because I've been asked to share the life experiences, I will tell that as honestly as possible. In fact, yes, I was interested in spirituality for quite a number of years. Even before I met Swamiji, I used to go to a number of lectures, listen to them, read spiritual books and all that. But the more books I read, the more confused I used to be, because they were all intellectually maybe satisfying, but when it comes to practice, we found that they were all falling short. And the quest was on, just like all of you. We have a constant quest to know what is the ultimate truth. So that was there. At that time, I was an young boy. Okay, once upon a time. Fine. But while I had respect for great masters of the past, maybe Ramana Maharishi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda, and Shankara, Ramanuja, and all those great people, and in different religions. It used to be a pleasure reading them, listening to them, and all that. But at the same time, just like all of us as youngsters, I didn't believe in the current set of gurus, so-called gurus, because you have heard enough of the misdeeds of many of them. Either they work for money or for power or for so many other things, but not really spiritually evolved. So in fact, when the first time I heard that Swamiji is coming, I did not even go and meet him. It's very interesting. In fact, Swamiji had come in Delhi to my uncle's place, my mother's brother. So Mamaji. So he asked his sister, that is my mother, saying that when Swamiji has come, from, yes, just returning from USA. Every year, he used to go to USA and then come to Delhi, do some programs for some time. That was a blissful experience for all of us. And then he used to travel by train to Tamil Nadu. So this used to be his routine from 1971 to 1991, year after year. So one such year, 1981, when he had come, so my uncle asked my mother to come. And my mother cannot go alone. And so she asked us to accompany myself, my brother, and a friend of us. So we said, no, we don't want to meet all those people. I'm not interested. In fact, we did not go. In fact, my younger sister, she had to accompany my mother to go and meet Swamiji. And when they saw Swamiji, they were all thrilled. But she said, my sons are all not coming. He said, no, they will come. That's all. Then they came and they told about Swamiji, but we were not impressed. In fact, I was saying, we were all thinking, oh, ladies are very emotional, so he must have done some this thing. So they are hypnotized by him. But the next day, the lecture was in another place, which was quite far away, which even my sister also was not familiar with. And we had to go there for the sake of my mother. So with both of them and three of us, we, for the first time, went to hear Swamiji. But I tell you, we didn't have faith in that. In fact, we thought we were all very clever and we will catch him red-handed because this man must be doing some magic with his fingers. So we'll watch him. Okay. So this was we had three of us. I told my brother, you always look at his right hand. And another friend, he will always look at his left hand. Maybe he's doing something, hiding here in the dress. And I will look at the beard. After all, guru means beard will be there. I'm not a guru. Okay, just having a beard. But general our opinion. So we said these are the three places where you can hide something and bring something out and materialize. So we said we are going to catch him. So that is how we went. And we thought, that Swamiji means there'll be a number of people around him. They won't allow us to meet him. He will be having a sannyasi dress. And with all that paraphernalia, we got to bend him or touch his feet, which we didn't want to do all that. So, and some religious signs, like this or like this, and some Rudrakshamala of 3 kilos. So this was our opinion. But when we saw him, it was a totally different thing. He was just having a white dhoti, white jibba, that's all. And no religious signs, nothing, and not many people around him and saying that we should not go and meet him. He was absolutely a down-to-earth, some old man. Of course, he had some charisma in his face, but otherwise he would have been passed on for anybody else, any ordinary man. And then he started doing a meditation, as we always do a group meditation. But when he did the group meditation, it was Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation. So when he conducted that meditation, I could feel some difference. So then it looked that this man doesn't seem to be an ordinary man as he depicts, as he shows himself. In fact, before that, I used to be working in Calcutta and was staying very close to Dakshineshwar temple, where Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to be the pujari. So very often we used to go and sit in meditation. We didn't know what meditation was, but just to go and sit, there is a dhyana room. In all temples, there is one dhyana room. But nowadays, we don't even know that such a thing exists, where we are supposed to sit and meditate. So that is where Ramakrishna Paramahamsa used to stay in that room. So when you go and sit there, you find there's a difference. So this exact feeling I got when Swamiji was conducting Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation. So then it appeared to me that he is not as ordinary as he is showing. I found the reverse, whereas all great masters show they are great, but once you go near them, we understand, no, they are not, they're selfish. But here it was totally 180 degrees opposite. Man, absolutely not showing he's great or anything different, but really something inside he was different. So then, after the meditation, he gave a lecture in English because the crowd was mixed. Unlike in Tamil Nadu, it used to be he used to speak in English, but his English also was not very. I mean, it was not a very flowery language, Shakespearean and quoting Wordsworth and things like that. Then later on, only I realized that Swamiji did not have a formal education. In fact, many of you may be knowing he stopped going to school after class 3 because of poverty. And he learned some English and mathematics in the night school for a couple of years so that he could go to Chennai and make a living there. In his village, he found he can't. So only that much English he had learned. But all this English was self-taught. And he gave a beautiful lecture, very simple, but very, very effective lecture. So I could rate it as much better than those who are very fluent in English and speaking in a bombastic words. And also there was no other people around and we could talk to him. And in Delhi, there are very few people. Unlike in Chennai, Tamil Nadu, a huge following is there. In Delhi, he was not much known. So we hardly few people there. But during that lecture, he was able to give many answers to the questions which were burning in me for a number of years and I didn't have answers. Because we used to hear intellectual lectures, at the time of hearing the lecture, we used to be very happy. But after that, I mean, we don't understand what is the significance of that. How can you put it in practice? Okay, and maybe the volume is a bit low. I'll try to speak louder.
Yeah, that's fine. You continue, sir.
Okay. So at the end of the program, when everybody left, I didn't feel like leaving him. Some attraction was there in him. So I approached him and I asked Swamiji, there are some questions. I said, okay, please go ahead. So once he knew I'm from Tamil Nadu, he said, you can speak in Tamil itself. So I asked some questions. I don't remember the questions, but those which were burning in me, and just like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, very simple examples, I gave answers to that. My God. So I went to catch him red-handed, the three of us. But all the three were mesmerized by his simplicity, but great knowledge and the divinity, and without any ego. So he was there for 5-6 days. So every day, whether my mother was coming or sister was coming, I was ready. And the beginning itself, it started as an anticlimax, and then he gave initiation. And even during initiation, he said the greatness of the master. So he said salutations to mother, salutations to father, salutations to guru. When he said that, he said, you think of your guru, whomsoever you consider as your guru. He didn't say, I am your guru. That is the greatness of Vedanta Maharishi. Of course, I could not take him for guru because I knew him only for the last 3-4 days. So I must have thought of Ramakrishna or Ramana Maharishi or somebody. So that's what happened. So he conducted the meditation initiation, but yes, I could feel the difference in a couple of more days. So that was the beginning. I remember an English poem which says, those who came to scoff remained to pray. Exactly, we went to scoff, but we remained to pray. So that was Vedanta Maharishi. Then, of course, we used to go to Rishikesh. Every time he used to come to Delhi, he will spend a few days in Delhi, and then we would all go to Rishikesh and spend about 5 or 6 days there. And that also used to be a great experience. Just about 20 people around him. So staying with him almost the whole day, and then discussing question-answer sessions. It used to be wonderful days on the banks of the Ganges. Some ashram we used to book, and then we spent 5 6 days. So this was happening. So year after year, Swamiji used to come. In Delhi, we used to meet him for some time, wait for the Rishikesh program, and then attend it. So things went on like that. And once I went to Chennai, and in Chennai, I, for the first time, heard him in Tamil, and that was fantastic. Because then we could see Swamiji in his original, this thing, the command over the language. And as you all know, that Swamiji, apart from being a philosopher, he's a great poet. He has written 1800 poems are there in the Jnana book, but there are many poems which we have lost because we didn't have proper record of Swamiji's even life history. Because it was so simple, and many people those days had not noted all that. So some poems we might have lost also. And Swamiji's poems were, in fact, all his new ideas, because many things he has started new, the new type of meditation, the simplified meditations, exercises, the Kaya Kalpa, name anything, his concept of economics, politics, science, in every field, Swamiji's contribution is there. But in all of them, the ideas, original ideas used to come as poems for him. And from poem, he used to translate into prose and give a method. So once I asked Swamiji, Swamiji, how is it that you're writing such phenomenal poems? And how are you? How can I compare you with? In what way can you compare and contrast with Kannadasan? Those who know Tamil, Kannadasan is one of the greatest poets of the modern times in Tamil Nadu, next to Bharatiyar. For all the cine songs also he used to write, and so he became very, very popular. And he could write poems on any topic, anytime. So that's what Swamiji said. Kannadasan could write any poem, anytime. Just give him the context. But for me, poems I can't write on any particular subject if I want. At some point of time, I feel something is coming in. I'll feel like scratching the head, something like that. Some feeling will come. And then the words will come. His hands will just note down what the words are coming. So he says, I'm not the author of the poem. Many times he would ask Jayanti, my wife, to sing that song. And when she sings that, he says, how beautifully the words have fallen. He will talk as if it is somebody else's poem. Because he says, I am not the owner of this poem. I am not the author. Just my hands wrote it. Just like the piece of paper accepted that words, pen wrote it. Similarly, my hand wrote it. So we can now understand when we say Vedas are not written by hand, or not written by, there are no authors for that. This is what all those masters must have thought. I am not the owner, so they did not name them, give their names. They say it is only divinity speaking to them. So we could exactly see Swamiji getting all these ideas when his mind tunes up to the divinity level. Then even without his knowledge, the words flow. Hands just note it down. So we are all lucky that we are able to see a man, or we have got his teachings. We are very lucky that here was a man who got things directly from going into that frequency. So that is why he would never say that I have discovered it, I have given new method. He will say it is all already there. The great masters have thought about it. And if you can link, then you also get it. In Tamil, Mundayorgal Agattavatal Muttunarnda Podilum. That means the previous masters, the great Jnanis of all sects, of all religions, when they go to that frequency, they get it. So already they have thought about it, or the divinity is giving knowledge to me, so it is not my property. So he would not say that I have written it. It is written through me. And he says there's nothing like individual proprietary rights because I am not the owner of this. In fact, he says even the new ideas when it comes to us, after all, it is because of society that I'm living, and I use all that knowledge, and something new has come about. So I am not the owner. In fact, he doesn't believe in individual proprietary rights because he says no single individual can claim that I am the author for this. But for the society, but for nature, he would not be even alive also. He would not be alive also. So it's a contribution of the entire society, and so it has to go back to the society. If only these concepts are accepted in economics, in science, in politics, we would see a totally new, different world. The property rights will have a different meaning. It is a right of everybody, and it should be shared by everybody. Okay, we hope that such a day will come, but here was a clear example of that. Okay, now I was wondering what are all the things I can share. Yeah, one thing which is very outstanding. At first, I will mention that. That was on one day in the year 2001. We were staying in a quarters in the Aliyar ashram, just a few furlongs, about 200 yards from where Swamiji stays. So Swamiji used to be looked after by Uma, his adopted daughter, and one more person. So these two ladies used to take care of Swamiji. And one day they had to go to Coimbatore. So they rang her up and they said that, can you look after Swamiji for a few hours? So we said, what a blessing to be with Swamiji for a few hours. And yes, all the three of us, we said, okay, no problem at all. Immediately got ready and we went there. And when you see Swamiji, sometimes you know that you can't even talk to him because he would be in a totally different mood. We could see that from his eyes. So he was sitting on the chair. If you all come to Aliyar, the first floor, the Dhyana Mandapam, that is where Swamiji used to stay. So he was sitting down there, and we three, we were sitting down. We were sitting down, and Swamiji was in his own thoughts. So then, as time passed by, we were all reading some book on Boli or some such thing, we were busy. Suddenly, there was a voice. Swamiji spoke in English. To us, he always speaks in Tamil. He has never spoken to us in English, unless there are others who are non-Tamils. But suddenly, he spoke in English in a very harsh voice, in a voice which is totally different from Swamiji's. And he said, the universal might will teach a lesson if humanity does not mend itself. Let me repeat. If humanity does not mend itself, the universal might will teach a lesson. So like that, Swamiji allowed in a voice which is quite, Swamiji's voice is very sweet. But this was a harsh voice. And these were the words uttered. We all were shocked to hear that. For one thing, as I told you, Swamiji will not speak to us in English. And for divinity, we always used to say very nice words only. Love, compassionate divinity. He will never say divinity, the divine might will destroy. A very strong word. So this is what he uttered. So it was a surprise for all of us, but we could not even talk to him. Okay, a couple of hours passed, and then Umaji, they had come back. So we went to the room, back to the room. But we were puzzled by this. But later, we got a solution for this. A few hours later, Indian Standard Time in the evening, the Twin Tower of USA was attacked. Because, Al Qaeda, they had gone and attacked it. And later we realized that when these masterminds were planning to destroy something like this, they must have planned a few hours earlier. So this was about 8 or 9 hours after we met Swamiji, after he said these words. So then we could link when these people were planning to destroy the peace of the world. So Swamiji must have felt that intuitively, that something is wrong. So just like when a child is not well, even if the mother is thousands of miles away, she could feel some disturbance in her mind. She may not be peaceful, she may not know what it is, but she may not be peaceful. This exactly must have happened in Swamiji. That when these people were trying to destroy the peace, so Swamiji, because he was always thinking of the world peace, he was a mother-like for the world. So that was disturbing him. And out of that came these words. That if we don't change our outlook towards economics, politics, everything, a new way of thinking, that we don't think in terms of small groups and one group against, instead of living as a common one world community. Unless we do that, we are destroying the society, we are destroying the nature left and right. And he says, as a result, the universal might will teach a lesson to us. So this exactly has what has happened. And that was the day when the Twin Towers were attacked. September 11, 2001. 9/11, yeah. 9/11/2001. So we could see that Swamiji was a totally different individual of a very high caliber, always thinking of world peace, etc. A couple of more instances I will share. So now that there's so much of rains here in Tamil Nadu and Kerala and other places, what is inundating everywhere. Same thing happened in 2002. Aliyar was flooded. Constant rains. And in 2002, we were to organize a world conference on peace. In the context of Swamiji's birthday. So that's August 14th, so August 12th to 14th, we had some 3 days conference on world peace, and important leaders, intellectuals, political leaders, religious leaders, spiritual leaders, scientists, they were all called for this conference. And Aliyar Ashram was not ready for that. We didn't have such infrastructure at all at that time. So they had to do a lot of work, building new buildings and getting the whole ground cleaned to have such a big platform for people. Thousands of people will be coming. No infrastructure was there. And we had to work non-stop. But these rains for a few days continuously had totally brought the work to standstill. And the trustees, they all approached Swamiji, we were all there. So they said, Swamiji, this is what is happening. So unless something is done, we can't do anything at all. We can't receive all those people. This won't be a place fit for conference. So you do something. So Swamiji said, nature is kind. He just said some soft words, but not very, very encouraging. But just within a couple of days, the rain had stopped, slowly receding and stopped, and the complete work they could do before the conference, whatever they had planned. And the conference went off very well. And at the end of the conference, after the conference was over, At 1 o'clock, the conference is over. From 2:30 onwards, once again, torrential rain, pouring. So then only we thought maybe Swamiji has done something. But he's such a man who will never say anything like that. To that, yes, I will be doing that, or I will do it, etc. So then again, we all approached in the evening. So we said, Swamiji, how this has happened? So then only he told, you see, Mother Nature is always kind. But it has to rain, and because we people don't follow what nature's laws, and so it has to show its power also as it is doing now. At least then we'll start respecting nature and not for private profits that we'll be doing totally destroying nature. So he says you can link with nature and say that yes, rains there should be there, but we are doing a job for world peace. So can you kindly postpone it by a few days? By meditation and linking and thinking the world should become peaceful, and this is a method by which we are doing it. So praying divinity that kindly pour somewhere else or just postpone for a few days so that this great job can be done. So like that, he had done it. And so even the Mother Nature is answering to his call. You see, and he was not even saying that. It's only when we went and asked him, he said that. So this is the greatness of our Guru. We are all lucky for that. And every word I'm talking about Swamiji, I'm not exaggerating. Because to such a man, if we say something untruth, then it will not be proper. We don't have to say anything. We don't have to exaggerate his greatness. If you speak the truth alone, it is enough. Then one more experience. Yes, a team had come from Bangalore to take a small video on Swamiji for some program. Okay. So the idea was that Swamiji should come out in the balcony, and because world peace is our organization's goal, and the white pigeon is a symbol for that. So a white pigeon Swamiji is supposed to hold and leave it, and it will fly high, and a video will be taken from bottom. So that was the idea. So then, yes, so they were all ready. We were all on the on the ground, and Swamiji was to come in the first floor from his room. So we were all eagerly looking for that scene, and Swamiji came. And the person next to him was holding the pigeon, so he gave the pigeon to Swamiji. And Swamiji just leaves it. And the video is supposed to cover, it is flying fully in the sky. So that was the idea. But the bird took off from his hand, but did not fly. Just near that, there was a parapet, just about 3-4 feet away. It went and sat down there. So they said, something must be wrong with the pigeon. So they gave one more. This also flew, but sat next to it. So 3 birds like that. So then they said, okay, now we cannot take that film properly. You see, the birds also felt so peaceful in Swamiji's presence that they didn't want to leave him. You see. So that is a love and compassion he had for Swamiji, and they were reciprocating it. So they feel as if they are with their mother, And then in order to take the film, they said, Swamiji is now it's getting too hot. You may go and take rest. And after Swamiji went, and somebody like us, he was given the pigeon. And then that person leaves it. And then the bird goes flying to the sky. And in video, what you see is actually Swamiji leaving it, but the rest of it is through some other pigeon which was left by somebody else. So see, that was Vedadri Maharishi. In fact, somebody asked a question. There are so many snakes around here, so many mosquitoes are biting when you're doing meditation. So what do you do? Swamiji also had a lot of sense of humor also. He said, if that is biting you, you also bite the mosquito. You see. So everyone laughed. But after that, he said, yes, after all, you can protect yourself. You can have a net or keep that page, keep the place more clean, etc. There are a number of ways. So, and even for snake, he used to say that, you see, we have come and occupied the place of the snake. And we're saying snake has come to our place. See the way Swamiji looks at, and we look at things. So if at all, then you got to take that snake and put it somewhere else like that. So he would not like violence even for them, but they should also be, their freedom has to be respected. So how do you do that? So it is this way we should start thinking. One more experience I will share. It's already 12:30. Yeah, one more. And at that time, we had just joined the ashram in the year 2000. Aliyar, we used to have lots of Tamil programs only mainly. So one couple from Chandigarh, Punjabi couple. So they were passing through our gate, and then they saw this yoga center. So they came in and wanted to know whether they could learn meditation here. So they were all sent to me, the both of them. So we were there. So they came and asked us. So I said, yeah, we do teach here, but generally it's in Tamil. So I will find out whether we can do it in English or Hindi for you. So we just took the telephone number. They went up and stayed in Valparai for a few days. That's what they come for. So like that, one more person also came and asked. So then we went and approached Swamiji and asked him, Swamiji, there are about 2-3 people only, and they want to learn it because they don't know Tamil. So could we teach in English or Hindi or things like that? The Swamiji's reply. So, we were not sure because hundreds used to come there in Aliyar. So have a program just for a few people. How it's going to be, we don't know what the management's outlook could be. So when we asked, he said, even if there is one person, you can do it. And the explanation he gave was great. He said, even if you give it to one person, his own heredity will change. His children, his grandchildren, they will be affected, influenced by that. And whomsoever he meets, the way he behaves is going to be different. So it's going to make a change in the world. So that is the way. So then we understood that we always look horizontally. How many people joined our program? But he looks at it totally 90 degrees, vertically. So he thinks of the future, the effect of even one person getting transformed. And in fact, it is because of this principle that Swamiji in the beginning used to go to individual villages even to initiate just one person. There have been stories that he had gone to initiate a person and that fellow has gone to a movie. So he waited for some time and then only he gave it and then only he came back. See, such kindness, such compassion, that he would go any extent to share his knowledge. And just one more example, I'll stop. At the end of meditation, at the end of his courses, when he makes us as masters, he would say that, after all, you should also give Guru Dakshina for me because I've taught you so much. So then he would say, I don't want money as Guru Dakshina, but I want your negative qualities, anger, greed, miserliness, all those 6 negative temperaments, you give that to me as my Guru Dakshina. And then, whenever you get angry with somebody, I will come and stand in front of you and say that you have given that anger to me. Guru Dakshina you have given me. How can you take it back without my permission? Or how can you even take it back? Guru Dakshina once given. You see the kind of master. He wants Guru Dakshina as our negative qualities, and he says, if you anytime you use it, I will come and stand in front of you. So that is Swamiji. Some episodes with him. I'll stop here. We can have some more interactions. Thank you for this opportunity to share some of the experiences with that great master, Vedanta Maharishi. Be blessed by the divine. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace.